I'm looking forward to the March 22nd Smartcast, where I'll be discussing the global online media landscape report that we released just a few weeks ago at the AdTech show in San Francisco. It covered a lot of different areas, but what I'd like to mention today are just two specific areas that I think were most interesting and deserve a lot more discussion. And we'll talk a fair amount about these points and others on March 22nd. The first issue is the fact that as the internet has grown so much over the last decade, especially here in the US but around the world, that the big issue is not so much growth in terms of new users coming online. That used to be the big deal. Now the big deal is with the people that are online, how are they changing their usage habits? And the two areas that have grown phenomenally are both social networking, social media, as well as video. And over the last couple of years, we've seen some very notable shifts. You know, one of the areas that's always been the area that has attracted the most users and attracted the most amount of time is email. You know, web-based email, whether it's Hotmail, whether it's Gmail, etc. People do spend a lot of time on those applications. But in late 2007, video and movies, primarily instigated by YouTube, surpassed the number of users that have been using email. And in just February of this year, from a standpoint of time, people are spending more time now on social networking than they're spending on email. And that, you know, while everyone I think knows that video and social media are growing, it's kind of interesting to see how their share relative to other staple areas are continuing to bulk up and continue to grow. So we'll delve into that in a little more detail on March 22nd. The other area that is receiving a lot of discussion is the whole area of online display advertising. Now, display advertising has been hammered by like just about every other form of advertising. But, and in addition, in the online space, whereas display advertising used to be 80 or 90% of the total maybe a decade ago, it's come down to about 20% of the total. Search is making up almost 50% now, so everyone knows that story. But the big question about display advertising, is it going to hover around 20%? Is it going to actually atrophy even more? Or is there light at the end of the tunnel, and is our brand advertisers going to find a way to finally make strong cases for themselves online, and what's that going to look like? Now, the thing that we find interesting right now, and if you look at data from the first quarter of 2009, there are three industries whose share of online display advertising is actually growing, and growing kind of significantly. And they're health, telecommunications, and packaged goods. Now, you might say, well, it's just three industries that are growing. But the thing that's interesting is these three industries are industries that are no strangers to spending on advertising. They've done a lot. They've provided the bulk of the heft, consumer packaged goods, healthcare, and telecommunications, in terms of spending in traditional forms of media. So the fact that these guys are actually moving online is a very significant story. Now, in all fairness, there's other industries that are plummeting. Financial services, retail, and a couple of others, auto in particular, have just been pelted by the downturn, and we're seeing that online as well as in other forms of media. So this is an interesting story. We're going to pick up a number of other issues during the 22nd Smartcast, but I thought I'd just kind of give you kind of a taste of what we'll be talking about now. So look forward to talking to you then.